Buddy, I'm excited for this movie. As a Jersey guy,
Thank you so much.
It's so cool. It's so exciting. How long did it take you to write the script?
Honestly, this was the fastest script I ever wrote because everything in it happened to me. I wrote the same way I wrote Clerks. Clerks was just my life at the time. I just changed people's fucking names to protect the innocent. With this, I gave Randall my heart attack, and then the boys make my movie. So I've been telling making of Clerks stories for almost 30 years on stage. So I knew his shit was funny. I cherry picked that. And then post heart attack, I've been out there doing heart attack material for fucking like 4 years. So I knew which shit was funny, and I could pull over and port over. So the writing of it, it's like a week, less than a week.
Was it hard to get the movie made? You know, because you know how hard the movie industry is.
I've been trying to make a Clerks 3, a version of it, for over 10 years, and it was hard until we made Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. Lionsgate had home video on it. Lionsgate sold so many, not streaming, but DVD and Blu-ray, physical media, that they reached out to us. They're like, if you have any more of this Jay and Silent Bob bullshit you can make for under $8 million, bring it fucking here. And I was like, I do. And that's how Clerks 3 got made. Clerks 3 got made because the fans bought DVDs. Like anybody who was like, I always wanted to see it, they manifested it by buying a fucking Jay and Silent Bob Reboot DVD or Blu-ray in an age when nobody does that anymore. So that was I owe the fans for that.
It's hard. I was talking to a buddy on my way here. Like I saw so many movies made where there's a teacher that came and saved the school, but they don't make movies anymore. I mean, that's just how I grew up on it. And your movies were one of the movies I grew up on. How do we get back to like movie magic? Or people go like, do you feel like these are going to survive?
Ask Spielberg. Did you see that trailer for his latest movie?
It's so sick.
It's movie magic personified. That guy still got it. I don't think movies are going to go away. I think, because streaming is so fucking dominant, people are more selective about what they actually go to the movies to see. So we've seen a whole swath of pictures kind of get erased from the theatrical marketplace. The middle range budget comedy, they don't make that for theaters anymore. They'll make it for a Netflix or something like that. Movie theaters are for the big event movies at this point. They're like Oscar contenders. And I don't think that'll ever change. I think they're not like record stores where it's just like, oh, there'll always be one in town. People will always love going to the movies. So we've seen a lot of exhibitors close. I just bought a movie theater in Atlantic Island, so maybe this is wishful thinking where I'm like, I hope they're not going anywhere. I just got into the fucking business.
Even with joke writing, it's sensitive times. People just get butthurt over something. You know, do you like? How does that affect your writing? Are you like thinking about that? Or you're like, I just want to do me. I just want to go back to my roots and just be funny.
I think at the end of the day, it helped. Like I never really, as they say, punched down. Most of my comedy is kind of pointed in. So even if it's like eviscerating comedy or fucking edgy comedy, it is generally pointed here, not at somebody else. So, some shit aged better than it might have. And then some shit also just didn't age well at all. Like Chasing Amy was my umbrella movie for many years. The movie that no matter what happened, I had Chasing Amy because everyone respected and shit. And now there's a whole new generation that sees that movie through a completely different prism, and they're not fond of it at all. And it's you can't explain no, but we made this back in 1997. It was very progressive back then. It's how it's viewed today. So some things you have to let go of by virtue of time changes, so to speak.
Two last things. The one thing that you learned, your best advice to movie makers who want to make a movie, obviously you've been around, you start from, you worked hard to do it. What's your advice to people who want to get into filmmaking?
Every filmmaker, I tell them or not even just filmmaker, every potential creative, anytime somebody's like, I want to do a thing, I remind them that they can, because their voice is their currency. I'm pointing right down the barrel of the lens. The way you see the world, the prism through which you see everything, is very distinct, and it's different from mine, different from his, different from hers. That is incredibly valuable. There's a compunction to do what is done before, because if that's successful, one thinks well, I can do it and maybe do my version of it. That way, maybe there could be success in copying others' success, but honestly, I feel the best chance for success, for breakthrough, to connect, is to tell a story nobody's ever told before, and that's the story you'll tell. That's something that comes from you. That's not you mimicking what somebody else has done. That's you going, well, wait, this is something I've never seen before. That's what they're waiting for. In this business, they're always going oh, they fucking only make sequels and remakes. They're waiting for you, the person that's never walked through the door. They've heard from me. They know what I could do, Clerks through Clerks 3. But you, they haven't heard from, and you're the person that could be like the Wachowskis, walk in and here's the Matrix, and you change the game. So your voice is your currency. Spend it as often as possible. That's what makes you different from everybody else, and that is what's going to make you pop. So
Very cool.
do you, as the kids say in a short version.
Last thing.
Yes.
You've been in a lot of movies, a lot of movie meetings,
Yes.
pitch meetings and stuff like that. When you're pitching a movie, what's your advice to someone? Like, how do you pitch a movie well? Like when you go into a meeting, is there a strategy or is it like?
I tell you, I'm not good at the pitch. I mean, yeah, no, I've never been good at the pitch. So much so that later in life, like in later years, I've just taken a laptop in and read my pitch. Like I was doing this pitch for Disney Channel years ago, and I was just like, honestly, like I wrote 8 pages, and I'd rather just read it from the laptop, and I'll look up at you from time to time, but you guys give a shit, and they were like, oh my God, no. And it was so much easier, like to just read what I'd written rather than like be like, okay, it's like this, it's like this. Thankfully, I haven't had to pitch too often in my career. I just got to make the movies I wanted to make. But the few times that I've had, I've learned that I'm not real good at it. I could sell Kevin Smith. I don't know if I could sell Kevin Smith as a hireable entity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, dude, listen, I'm so excited for the movie. As a Jersey guy, it's so excited to see it come
I
back.
hope you
and
dig it.
It's awesome, bud. I really appreciate it. Kev, thank you, brother.